Well, the day has finally come where we can talk about this awesome new piece of glass that I have had in my possession for a few months now, and I'm very, very excited today to bring this video to you guys showcasing this brand new Endurance 30 FD scope from Hawke, and it is beautiful. Um, there's unboxing videos. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys. I'm gonna open this up right now. I'm gonna give you guys a first look at it, and we'll just pretend like I haven't already opened this thing up and played with it, looked through it, mounted it on my gun, the whole 9 yards. But this thing is super sweet. I'm very excited. You guys that have followed me in the past, you guys know I'm not like a super marksman. I don't shoot really, really, really long range. I've made it by the skin of my teeth with just lower end optics for years, and I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of them costing me dear shot opportunities and misses. And this thing hopefully is going to prevent that. So let's open this thing up. So really cool, when you order one, it's actually going to show the reticle and all the numbers that you ordered specifically off of Hawke's website on the end of the box. Also with some more details that you may or may not already know. Let's open this thing up. All right, like I said, we're going to pretend that I haven't already opened this bad boy. But in the package, first thing you're going to pull out is your sun ring over to the side. This thing comes in packaged very nicely, nicely secure. I couldn't get it exactly back the way that it was when it first showed up. Toss all the stuff to the side as we go. Of course, it's going to come with your glass cleaning wipes, instructions, yada, 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 the whole 9 yards. A couple of extra Allen wrenches and a zoom lever extension that helps you actually turn your zoom. I'm going to set all this stuff to the side for a moment. First thing you're going to notice, this thing has a 30 millimeter tube. I like that about it. It's a little bit bigger, it's a little bulkier, a little beefier, and it's going to hold up and not take such a shock like my old scope was on this gun. I'm going to show you guys here in a minute. Hawke's entire emphasis on building this scope was to make it low profile and lightweight, and that is exactly what it is. One of the first things I noticed when I took it out of the box and started looking around, looking down my street and whatnot, it has an ultra wide field of view, which makes like target acquisition super easy to get on your target. Really easy to find your target if you're hunting like super monotonous terrain, such as CRP or out west, things like that, where it might be a little tougher to find them in the scope. And it also is going to bring in a ton of light, which is super, super helpful. I cannot tell you how many times over the years my old Simmons scope that I had on this gun over here beside me just did not bring in light. There's so many opportunities that I let get away, even in legal light, to where I didn't feel comfortable taking the shot and I had to pass. Another thing I'm not used to is the clarity that comes with this glass. It's unreal. There's a lot of really high-end scopes out there. You can pay thousands on thousands of dollars for high-end glass. And then like when you come across something like Hawke at the price point that they are, for the quality that you get and the warranty, the no questions asked warranty, man, you can't beat it as a blue-collar guy. I'm not going to sit here and say that there's not like a $10,000 scope out there that may be better, but for what you're getting, for the price you're paying for these products, it's unbeatable for a guy that's maybe not living paycheck to paycheck, but really damn close like me. So I really appreciate that about a company. I like people that build high quality stuff, stand behind it. They obviously stand behind it. If they're willing to replace it, if no questions asked, they stand behind their stuff. And I genuinely like that about Hawke. Like I mentioned before, it has the 30 millimeter tube. I actually had to change out my scope rings on this gun over here because my old scope, I don't know what exactly it was. It was really, really, really old. I did get me some 30 millimeter mid profile rings for this over here, and it looks good on the gun, I can say that. The number one thing I want to talk about when it comes to this scope is something extremely neat that's going to help in both very high light and low light situations. You can see right here on the side, hopefully it focuses, you got the Hawke emblem. So I can actually push this. Maybe you can hear it. All right, so I just push it for a second, and now I'm looking through the scope. And I will do my best somehow to incorporate, maybe if you guys could see through that, maybe you can't because doing this with a camera is extremely difficult. It's got this little fiber optic dot in the center of your main reticle. Now, you might ask, what good does that do? Well, I'll tell you what, it helps you focus on what you want to shoot. It helps you focus on the point on the animal that you want to shoot. And it's not just a fiber optic dot. This thing has 11 different settings to where you can drop this thing down to the slightest little red illumination in the lowest of light, and that's going to help you in super low light situations. And then even in the middle of the day, maybe say you're out in Texas like I was last year, midday, rattling in bucks, it's super bright, it's warm out, and you still want your illumination on. So you can actually turn this thing up to the highest setting. This thing has 11 different settings. So this thing gets extremely bright in here, almost down to where like I can barely make out that there is something red. And it just goes back and forth. And that is awesome. All you got to do is hold that button for 3 seconds and it turns right off. But here's another cool thing about that illumination. You ain't got to worry about your battery dying on you anytime soon, because after 10 minutes of inactivity, maybe you got it sitting over in the side in the box blind, you got it laying across your lap. If you let it lay there for 10 minutes, this thing will automatically shut off. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there have got your fancy black and stainless steel 7 PCR, 6.5s, all that brand new, really cool stuff. And this right here is the most American-made gun, period. Like just a deer. It's an animal killing full. It ain't even got to be a deer. This thing will take down elk. It'll take down moose. This is my Remington 700 30-06. And this is a model from the 60s that my grandfather left me when he passed. And it has been very, very, very good to me, even with a crappy scope on it. And now the possibility that this thing is going to provide me, I'm very, very excited about. And here's the reason why, is because here in the, eastern part of the U.S. where I'm from, southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, western Kentucky, whatever you want to call it, this general area, we do have an opportunity to hunt over crop fields. So we do need some sort of zoom. But there's a lot of times that I'm hunting with this gun. We have a 16-day rut rifle season in Kentucky. And there's a lot of times that I find myself in close quarters. And that's why the magnification that these scopes come with is incredible. They come in 6 magnification increments. I have actually got the 3 to 18. And the reason that I went with this is because a lot of times, close quarters, I'm right in the woods with these deer. My old scope was a 6 to 18. And like the deer is 15, 20 yards out of nowhere. And like I'm having trouble like picking out that spot to shoot on that deer because he is so close. So with this thing being a 3 to 18, I've got the opportunity to shoot, within 15, 20 yards inside the woods and make an accurate shot, while also having the ability to shoot out to 250, 300, maybe even more if I become comfortable with that. And that's what I love about it. You can see I've already got my rings on the gun. I'm going to go ahead and mount this up and see what you guys think. I got her cranked down. As you can see, I moved my mic to the other side so that I can rest my head on this thing and make sure that my field of view is perfect, in which it is. I didn't crank this scope down super tight just because I am going to take it to a shop and let a professional get this thing nice and level. I want this thing perfect. And there's been a couple times where I'll do it myself on lower range guns, and like my shotgun that I put my Hawke turkey scope on last year, I did it myself. That thing was phenomenal, by the way. So as you can see, this thing is really slick. Even with that old cheap Simmons that I had, that wasn't much. This gun feels like it weighs pretty much the same just because of Hawke's lightweight design on this scope. My action and whatnot doesn't get in the way of anything. As you can see, slides right down beside the scope. So this thing is going to be a great fit. I can't wait to knock down a few deer this year with it. I can't wait to knock down an elk with it one day. That is my goal with this gun before I die. I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time to watch this first look video on the new Hawke Endurance 30 FD. This is a great scope. It's a great price point for what you're getting, with tons of features, tons of different magnifications, and tons of different reticles that you guys can choose from. And as always, if you want, head over to hawkeoptics.com and you can use code HuntingDad to save 15% off. That's HUNTINGDAD, HuntingDad. It'll save you 15% on any binos, spotting scopes, regular scopes, rangefinders, you name it. It'll save you 15% on their website. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure and head over and check out some of their stuff, especially this brand new scope. It is slick. I mean slick. And we'll see you back on the next one.